thank you all for coming today. We have several different things on our agenda. In just a couple days, and 5 days from now, we will celebrate the 70th anniversary of WRTI, the Temple University radio station. There are people in this room who were involved. That's where I met Michael Mutrick. That's where I met Mike Beauvais. Cool Bobby B, who is our MC, Bob Backman, for our rock and roll luncheon. That's where I met him. That's where I met a close friend of mine, Ed Shockey. That's where I met Mike Beal, the famous rock jock. We won't explain that. But, you know, Ray Didinger, a lot of good people. Jerry Del Caliano came out of WRTI, and we're here today to pay tribute to them. And we have with us Tobias Poole and Bill Johnson. Gentlemen, come on up. Ed Eisen's going to come up. I'm 71, he's 81, and he was involved with WRTI. And anyhow, here, why don't you say a couple words about your experience with WRTI?
Well, I got involved with WRTI way back before most of you here were born, back in 1954. That's.
Did they have microphones back then?
They had microphones, but we were strictly dedicated to radio. There was no television.
Didn't you have to do the script by carving it on rocks?
Yeah, we came down from Mount Sinai to do that. So it was a great learning experience, and I went on for many years as a disc jockey, and then moved into print journalism. But WRTI was responsible for getting me started in communications, and I'll always remember RTI and be grateful for the experience I received there.
And one person we should also remember is a guy by the name of John Roberts. John Roberts was instrumental in WRTI. If you go to our website, by the way, you can hear President Johnson, not Lyndon, but President Johnson at Temple University with the very first WRTI broadcast from January of 1948. And we have that, you can listen to it on our website. But anyhow, John Roberts, besides being involved with WRTI, was also involved with the beginning of WHYY radio and then later television. I remember him telling me the room was filled with educators, and I was the only one with any broadcast experience. And he said, trying to explain what we needed to do, he said, you know, they were lucky they knew what a microphone was. And, you know, let alone anything else. You know, you start talking about operating a board, and they're, you know, like, why would you operate a board? How do you do that? Just a piece of wood. And it's like, no, that's not it. But by the way, if you saw in our newsletter a while ago, we had a picture of John Roberts from 1948 in one of his classes. And there was a guy there by the name of Norman Feld with a D. And later he changed the name and made that an L, and it became Norman Fell of the Ropers and Three's Company and all that. And he also was on Playhouse 90 and on Studio One. He was in the live version of 12 Angry Men. And we have a lot of good WRTI pictures. Fortunately, we have an archive on that material. Anyhow, Ed, why don't you present this to Bill Johnson, the station manager, and Tobias Poole, our operations manager. Gentlemen, thank you so much, and we'll let you say a few words.
Thank you, Jerry. First of all, I just want to say thanks to you and to Mike and all the other WRTI alums who are out there. We are standing on the shoulders of giants. That's how I look at it. I'm a Johnny-come-lately to all of this. We couldn't be here if there weren't people who believed in what radio and broadcasting could do, the difference that it could make in entertaining people, keeping them informed, the power of the medium, to be ubiquitous. It's everywhere, it's free, it serves the public. And that's what drew me to this industry, was the notion that public media in America is a powerful tool to serve the public and the democracy. I couldn't do what I do if there weren't people at the station who were committed to the mission, who believed in it, and who were dedicated to service at the highest possible levels. So it was only fitting that Tobias Poole, who for so long was our chief engineer and then moved up into being the operating director and overseeing even broader aspects of the station, is here as our longest serving staff member, but also a reflection of the dedication that's has defined WRTI from your student days, to the professionals, who sort of weaned themselves, at WRTI and then moved into the public sphere and have served our region and served the country so fabulously. It's an amazing thing to be a part of. Today, of course, we are not the WRTI of 70 years ago. We are a classical music and a jazz station, and together with our peers around the country, we are responsible for the vast majority of that music heard in America on the radio. WRTI has grown tremendously. It's an exciting place to be. We're involved in a lot of national projects, and we continue to try to embrace that spirit of creativity, of innovation, of dedication, of service that we've seen from all the students who've come through WRTI. Last week, a new organization was announced, the Non-Com Music Alliance. You may have heard about it, but it's a new organization that's going to solely represent public radio and its impact on music in America. That's jazz, that's classical, and that's alternative music. We have a tremendous impact on the discovery of music and the promotion of new artists and keeping the public connected in these genres that are not necessarily the most popular, but they have tremendous impact from a creative standpoint, from a reflecting society standpoint, and adding to the equation of what it means to have music in America, what it means to have art in America. So it's really exciting to be a part of that. The other thing I'll say is that I've known Tobias now for over 20 years. This is probably the most important thing I can say. And over that 20 years, he and I have shared, a really special passion. And it's only fitting that we're here today when you're talking sports, because even though we're a jazz and classical station, we bleed green. I was there last Saturday, Tobias was there last Saturday, we'll be there this Sunday, and I think Tobias has something to say to all of you.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you, broadcast pioneers. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you.